Alright, boys and girls, I've always wanted to do this. I've done it on my own a few times. And I wanted to make an official documentation of a Pixar tier list. They make some of my favorite movies growing up, and even to this day, they make pretty good movies sometimes. Obviously, the quality has had a little bit of a drop off. Yeah, and I think Pixar has enough movies at this point to where, you got really good ones and then you got really bad ones. So today, I'm gonna show you guys which ones I think are really good, and then which ones I, think are bad. So I guess let me explain how I'm gonna do this tier list. There's obviously S, A, B, C, D, F, and there's never seen. Never seen, self-explanatory. There's gonna be a couple movies that I actually haven't seen, and I really have no intention of seeing or really no desire to. So just for a tier list, I feel like I can be a little more lenient, not be so prepared. I'm allowed to be lazy, okay? It's my video. F is the worst. This is, this is probably the worst movie. It's just a bad movie, obviously. It's F. It's F. If you get an F, it's not good. It's bad. D is below average. It's not a movie I love, obviously. It's essentially a movie I wouldn't want to see again, or wouldn't go out of my way to see again, or have no desire to see again. Now, C is average. It's a movie I will probably, I would watch more than once. Again, I wouldn't go out of my way to, but I would if I was just sitting down. I was like, what movie should I watch? A C movie is not a bad movie. It's just an okay movie that they could have done better, but they could have done worse. B is above average. I think actually B is you might be oh, it's a B, so it's not that good. But I think B is just good overall. It didn't hit it out of the park, but it's a good movie. A is a great movie. I think when you get to A tier, it's gonna be some of Pixar's best. S tier is perfect. You couldn't have done anything different. It was just a great movie all around. You can't really, it did no wrong in my eyes. And here's the thing, I think A and S tier, depending on who you are as a person, I think they're interchangeable. So I'm gonna have some things in S tier that you might think are just A, and then you may have things in S tier that I might think is just A. So there's gonna be S tier movies in A, through other people's perspective. So people that say oh, this Pixar movie is one of their best, or really good, they may put it in S tier, but I might just think it's a great movie, obviously, but it's not one of the ones that I think are the top tier. So like I said, A and S are pretty interchangeable. You'll see some S tier movies in A, if you know what I mean. Hopefully that made sense. I've ordered them in release order, so you kind of can see how Pixar has maybe evolved in my eyes, if they've gotten better, if they've gotten worse. So yeah, let's just jump into it. First one's Toy Story. I actually rewatched this movie a week ago, and it's really good. It's really good. I think it's a great starting point. It's very basic, it's a basic kind of plot, but it's really good. I think it's great. I think it's A. Some people may say it's S. Like I said, they're interchangeable. This may be some of people's childhood favorites, but I think it's a great start. It's a really good start. All right, so this may be a little shocking, but I've actually never seen Bug's Life. It's not a movie I've ever, wanted to. Maybe I saw when I was a kid, but I don't remember it at all. It's not a movie I want to see, I guess. Every time I see scenes from Bug's Life, or just hear about it, it's not a movie people say you have to go out of your way to see. It's just kind of been there in Pixar's lineup, and one of those ones that I just never caught, I guess. And I really, I'm probably gonna end up watching it one day, but I have no intention to watch it anytime soon. Toy Story 2, that's it's S. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Toy Story 2, I used to hate it as a kid. It was actually my least favorite Toy Story, but it aged so well for me. I haven't seen it as of late, but I remember the last time I saw it, I really loved it. It's very memorable. I remembered more things from Toy Story 2 than I did Toy Story 1. When I rewatched Toy Story 1, I was oh yeah, I forgot about that, but I remember a lot from Toy Story 2. Yeah, and I don't know, I feel like it's peak Toy Story. It's where it really shines. It's where Pixar really, hit the mark. Yeah, great emotional storylines. The characters, they all work well together. You got some funny scenes that people still quote and meme to this day with Big Al. Yeah, I think Toy Story 2 is it's Pixar's first ever S tier movie. Monsters Inc. Now I'm gonna tell you this. Monsters Inc. I mean, I don't remember, but apparently it's the first movie I ever saw in movie theaters. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal for me. And not only that, I also rewatched this movie a few days ago. It's my favorite Pixar movie of all time. We've already peaked at the beginning of this list for me. It's just so good. Sometimes I watch movies and I like tune out. Sometimes I'll just check my phone once in a while. And even for good movies, I'll do that because I'm a very distracted kind of person. Monsters Inc. I rewatched it like the other day, and I don't think I looked away from the screen once. The movie's still that good, and I've seen it dozens of times. It's one of the best of all time. It's my personal favorite. There's spoiler alert, nothing's beating Monsters Inc. in this tier list. I just think it's that good. Finding Nemo, another one I actually rewatched probably a month ago at this point. People say this is Pixar's best. People will call this their Monsters Inc. I think it's just A. Actually, it's better than Toy Story because it's every scene of the movie feels like it belongs, like it's a part of the journey, and you never feel like you're wasting time watching it. The characters are really great. It's an iconic movie. I don't know. It's never one of those ones where I'm like, yeah, Finding Nemo is one of the best. It never really, like, when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, it's really good, but I wasn't blown away by it. The Incredibles, another one people say is their favorite, their S tier, their top S tier. And again, I rewatched this probably around the same time as Finding Nemo. I have like spurts of like times where I just want to watch Pixar movies, so I would like watch them for a few days. And there was like the other day I watched like Monsters Inc. and Toy Story, and like last month I watched Nemo, Incredibles, and other ones as well. And upon rewatching Incredibles, I think it's really good. I think it's also A tier. I don't think it's as good as Finding Nemo, to be honest, though. Honestly, I don't even think it's good as. No, it's better than Toy Story. It's really good. It's a nice little sweet family movie. It's superheroes. I think it's the best Fantastic Four movie ever. Yeah, because the other ones suck, and this is not even a Fantastic Four movie, but it's probably it's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's got a good villain. I never really looked at Pixar movies for great villains. Some of them have great villains, some of them don't. I think Incredibles has probably the best villain. But like, it's not even just the villain, it's all the characters, they work well. Solid A movie. Alright, this is where Pixar sucks now. I'm putting Cars in D. I'm tempted to put it in F, but I don't think it's F tier worthy because it's like, it's alright, like it's fine. I've seen it a couple times. It's so weird. It feels so like out of place. Mainly because A, the movie's not that good. And B, I don't like the design of the cars. I think it's just weird with their mouths on their frickin' on like just the front, and their eyes are it's not appealing to look at for me. It's like very weird, and also the movie, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just meh. I haven't seen it quite a bit, and I really don't want to because I know like Mater's annoying, Lightning McQueen's kind of boring. There's some characters that are like kind of like Chick Hicks is, he's kind of funny, but it's just a D tier movie. It's the first time Pixar's truly flopped for me. I mean, I've never seen A Bug's Life, so Bug's Life honestly I could think is worse, but we can't know that for sure. Oh, Ratatouille. Another one people say it's Pixar's peak. It's Pixar's best. There's a lot of these in these early stages. Obviously, as we go down the line, it may not end up like that. But Ratatouille, even a lot of my friends even say, this is Pixar's best. This is some of Pixar's greatest work. I agree. I think it is top tier Pixar. But I'm just gonna put it top of A. I think it's better than Nemo. It's better than Nemo. I think it's better than Incredibles. I would definitely rewatch Ratatouille over these three movies. It's not S tier. It's really good. It's really good. It's a really good movie. It's got a great message. Characters work great. There's great scenes. Everything works well together. I don't know. It doesn't stick with me, I guess, is the reason. Like S tier movies, they're the ones that they're the ones I'll die for. Not die for. You know what I mean. Ratatouille, though, is like, yeah, it's good. It's really good. Now, WALL-E. Ooh, WALL-E. Another one I rewatched recently. I also rewatched Ratatouille recently. I think that's about it with the ones I've rewatched recently. It's got, WALL-E, that's got a great message. It's S tier. WALL-E never really resonated to me as a kid, but upon rewatching it recently, it's like, it's too real. It's scary, because that's our future. And like, not even that, WALL-E and Eva, that's a great pairing. I honestly think it's a better pairing than Marlin and Dory. I was more entertained by their interactions than them. It's an entertaining movie. It looks good. The only negative I really have about WALL-E is that they used live action humans for some scenes. I don't like the mixing of live action and like animated. Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Space Jam, yeah, they're fine with it. But like when it's like in a movie that's supposed to be all animated and you just have like a random scene with like some actor, it just, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. But that's the only negative, and it's not even a big deal. Yeah, I think WALL-E's S. Up, 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 up. If this was like, oh god, there's a plane. If this was like 2009, or like when did this movie come out? I don't know. If this was 10 years ago, this would have been like right here. It would have been in between Monsters Inc. and Toy Story 2. Those first 10 minutes are probably the best. It's the best. It's really sad. But obviously as the movie goes on, it's not the same in quality, but it's not bad in my eyes. And I also think the ending of the movie is really good. I don't mind the villain. I don't mind the dogs. I'm gonna put it in A. I'm probably gonna put it. I'm gonna put it between Nemo and Incredibles. The relationship between Carl and Russell is like one of my favorites. I think Doug is, he might come off as annoying to some, but I think he's all right. I think he's a good fit. He's got the right emotional beats as well. The bird, Kevin, I understand why he's in the movie. I don't know. I think of Up and I just think of a good time. I think it's a really great movie. I wouldn't put it in S tier because, again, it kind of peaks the first 10 minutes, like I said, but I don't think it really drops down too much in quality. I don't think it really drops the ball too hard, going after those 10 minutes. I just don't think it definitely doesn't hold up to the rest of the film. So yeah, Up it's a great movie. All right, Toy Story 3. Okay, all right. If you want to talk about, you're gonna hate me. I'm not saying Toy Story's bad. Toy Story 3 is bad. I'm not saying that at all. But like, obviously the scene towards the end, which we all know what we're talking about, that's pretty fucking devastating. And also the last scene is also pretty emotional. It's great. I think Toy Story 3 is a great tie-up to the trilogy. I'm gonna put it below Toy Story 1. It's still an A tier. I was tempted to put it in B, but like, I don't know. It does everything right in my eyes. Lotso Huggenbear, whatever his name is. That's like one of top tier Disney villains. But to be honest, I don't know, it just doesn't hit the right spots as like every movie that's come before it has. I think Toy Story 3 is probably one of the last, one of Pixar's, like, I think this is the end of an era for Pixar. Like after Toy Story 3, we'll kind of see Pixar doesn't really have the best track record. I think Toy Story 3 is definitely the end of an era. And I just kind of think Toy Story 3 is like, it's got a similar plot to Toy Story 2 in a way. It's not like exactly the same, but it's very similar. I've only watched Toy Story 3 a couple times. I've never wanted to watch it again that bad. But it is a good movie. It's a good send-off to these characters and Andy. It's a great movie. I don't know. I obviously people love this movie, but I think it's just great. Low tier great. All right, Cars 2 and F. Do I have to explain? Brave, Pixar's stupid way of trying to make a princess movie, which they could have done really well, I believe, but they didn't. It's just above Cars. Brave is like, it's not. I've seen it once, and it was just bad. It just wasn't good. Same for Monsters University. I've only saw this in theaters when it came out. I was like 13. I don't remember anything from this movie, to be honest, and which sucks, because I love Monsters Inc., obviously, but Monsters University, I'm gonna put it above Brave because I think they do the characters well. Like the backstory is like it's kind of cool. It doesn't like ruin Monsters Inc. I mean, there's like some like inconsistencies, obviously, with like the abominable snowman kind of stuff. I don't think Monsters University is I don't know. It's just, I don't think they should have ever made it, is what I'm trying to say. Inside Out is where Pixar, they started to pick things up a little bit. They started to pick things up, I believe. I think Inside Out's a low A. I think it's really good. It was fun to watch. I saw it in theaters. I don't know if I've seen it since, but it's got the emotional moments. It's kind of like Pixar kind of starts, they kind of got a trend going where they got two main characters. They don't really mix well, and they go on an adventure. Like Nemo, Toy Story, now Inside Out, even Cars, you could say, it's like two characters that don't really mix well. It's kind of like a formula. It's kind of that style. Even Up is that kind of formula as well. So the fact that the movie comes out you know, it's 2015. We've seen this a bunch of times already, not even just with Pixar, with like movies in general. They're polar opposites in a way, and this is like the most polar opposite because it's happiness and sadness. So it's like the personification of freaking polar opposites. Is personification the right word to use there? I don't know. I don't care. Very top heavy, obviously. We only got a few bottom tiers and one never seen. Hopefully we'll get some averages. Good Dinosaur. Good Dinosaur. I think it's D. It's probably above Brave, but below Monsters University. I don't know. I saw it once. It was, I guess, it got kind of emotional in the beginning. And then the movie kind of goes and stuff happens that I don't remember. But like, I don't know. I feel like Pixar could have done great things with this concept, but they just didn't. And I don't really like dinosaur movies to begin with. It's not my go-to style of movie. Dinosaurs. I was never a big dinosaur kid. I was never a good dinosaur either. Alright, so a very empty B and C tier. So it's like either, you know, Pixar's making really good movies or they're making, you know, really bad movies. Alright, now we're getting into the territory of sequels. And when I say sequels, I mean non-Toy Story sequels. Obviously, we already had Monsters University, which is technically a prequel, but it's still kind of, you know, it's a follow-up to not a follow-up, but it's an extension of a character story. And then Cars 2. But besides that, we're getting to like the hefty sequels, the hefty sequel season in this section. Starting with Finding Dory. You know, in my opinion, I think Pixar shouldn't make sequels. Hopefully, I don't think they will be making any more sequels in the time to come. I guess they're making like a Buzz Lightyear movie, but that's not really a Toy Story sequel, more of a spin-off kind of thing. I honestly think the only good sequels Pixar has made is Toy Story sequels. That being said, I do think Finding Dory is actually pretty good. I think it's just a fun movie. It's fun to watch, it's kind of funny. Dory's fine. There's some like weird stuff going on in the movie. Honestly, you'd probably just rather watch Finding Nemo because it's sort of the same, but you know, Dory's story is kind of neat. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's fine. I think it's good. It exists. Probably shouldn't have, but it does, and it doesn't hurt that it exists. It just exists. But I'm not putting it in C because I think it's pretty good. It's a fun ride. You're gonna want to watch this movie if, like, you know, you got nothing else to watch. Let's put on Finding Dory. Let's have a couple chuckles. You know, you won't get too emotionally invested. Maybe you will. Cars 3, I've never seen. I've actually never seen. Mainly because Cars 2 is utter trash. I've heard Cars 3 is better than Cars 2, but I've also heard that like it's still not good, and I don't like the Cars franchise to begin with. I don't want to watch Cars 3 at all. Maybe I will one day. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? I don't think I will. Coco. Ooh, Coco. Yeah, I don't know. This movie just never did anything for me. It was definitely emotional at the end, obviously. The villain's alright. People say it's a great twist villain. I thought it was, actually the villain was pretty good. Damn, I don't know, I just never really cared. After, like, I watched the movie and I was like, yeah, it's really good, but I just never really cared afterwards. Like, god damn it. I'll put it bottom A, because I know if I put it anywhere below A, people may be upset. It's a really good movie. It's great, actually, but I don't know. It was just like after the movie came out, I was just done. Never really gave a second thought to it. You know, these movies are memorable. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I do put it in B. Nah, I'll leave it at bottom A. There's a lot of A's. Because it is a great movie. I just didn't care enough about it to, I'd never put it near my top, what is this, 10? Yeah, it's right outside my top 10. Incredibles 2, C, I don't know, it's fine. It exists, probably shouldn't, but I don't know, I think Finding Dory is a better sequel movie. Incredibles 2, it was it was alright. The twist villain is very obvious. The family, they don't really, it's not a great follow-up, and it probably should have never been a thing. Toy Story 4 is below Finding Dory because I actually really like Toy Story 4. I thought Toy Story 4 was really good. It just really shouldn't have existed. It shouldn't have existed. It doesn't need to. It feels like everything ended great with Toy Story 3. Why was there a Toy Story 4? Yeah, I mean, the ending's pretty nice. I like Woody's story. Buzz's storyline here is kind of meh. I think some of the new characters are really funny, like the Key and Peele characters. And oh god, sorry, I'm getting a little gassy. Keanu Reeves is, he does a pretty good toy character. You do it good. Yeah, but it's just overall, it's just fine. It's just a fine movie. It's not offensive. It doesn't ruin Toy Story in any way. It just extends their story, but it didn't really need to extend it in any way. Hopefully, there's no Toy Story 5. I think they made it clear at the end of this movie that there probably won't be. Yeah, I mean, I would have been happier if they just ended it at Toy Story 3, but I'm not upset that this movie happened. And plus, it's really, really good. Like, after rewatching Toy Story 1 the other day, Toy Story 4 is like, you could tell the evolution of their animation it just evolved tenfold. And that's just technology, baby. Onward is D. I'm gonna put it above Monsters University because I'd probably rewatch Onward more likely than Monsters University, but I'm probably not gonna rewatch Onward at all, to be honest. It was kind of boring. Again, two characters. Yeah, they're two different characters. One of them's this kind of character, and the other one's this one. They go on an adventure, and their adventure is kind of it's meh. Yeah, stuff happens, but not major stuff. There is one scene in the movie that's really good, and that's towards the end. You probably know what scene I'm talking about. A very emotional scene, kind of a nice little cherry on top. Like it was. I wouldn't say that watching the movie is worth waiting for that scene, but the scene is really good. Carries the movie, but the movie is it's kind of like meh. I don't know. I just never got into it. Now we have Pixar's latest film. I'm gonna be honest. Soul is fucking good. It is really good. It is a good movie. It is a good movie. I'm gonna put it right above Inside Out. I don't know. I thought it was really good. I've only seen it the one time. It came out a few months ago. Maybe it's because it's the most recent one, but then again, I hated Onward when it came out, so who knows? Yeah, Soul is just that good. I think hopefully Pixar, maybe they're going in the right direction. They got that new movie coming out in like a few months, I think. It's like Luca or something. That looks like it could be good. Also could be bad. Yeah, hopefully if Pixar, if they keep up the quality of Soul, I don't know if they'll ever, because obviously the list is over, and I only got 3 S tiers. I don't know if they'll ever make an S tier movie again. Hopefully, maybe they'll hit something. Hopefully they'll do something right. Hopefully they'll figure out an idea that really hits home with me. Yeah, but it really went from S's and A's, and then it started going to a lot of D's, and then a couple B's, and then a C, and there was a few A's in there towards the end. But it was I don't know, Pixar, they kind of slowed down a little bit. They'll hit a home run every once in a while, but most of the time nowadays it's either average or below average, and that kind of sucks. So if you've never seen any of these top tier movies, I suggest it. Even Finding Dory and Toy Story 4, go watch those as well if you wanna waste time, I guess. For these bottom tier movies, I don't know. Watch them if you want to torture yourself, I guess. Should I see A Bug's Life and Cars 3? Where do you think I would rank them? In the context of this list. You see my opinions with Pixar. Where do you think I would rank A Bug's Life and Cars 3? Comment it down below. Or don't. Up to you. Do you agree with my list? Where would you put... What's your top 5 favorite Pixar movies? Comment that if you want. Should I do another tier list? What do you want me to do? Should I rank these movies from worst to best? I don't know if it'd be much different than this list, but it would force me to watch these 2 movies. And maybe I would change my mind about something. Who knows? Goodbye.